Today we're talking about a story that is either the greatest whistleblower of the 20th century, the man that walked so Snowden can run, or, according to the media, is deemed one of the most dangerous, delusional men ever recorded on tape. I'm leaving it up for you to decide. John Todd believes he wasn't born, he was bred. Raised inside a bloodline he claims predates America itself. Not only does he go by John Todd, he was raised with multiple other aliases. John Todd Collins, Lance Collins, Chris Sarayan Collins, Christopher Collins, Christopher Cullum, I'm just kidding. Collins was the name he tied directly to the founding families of witchcraft in the New World. A dynasty, he said, that didn't just practice magic, but operated the political machinery underneath the country. He was blasted as a conman, painted as an unstable vet in the newspapers, and degraded to an addict spewing lies. This is the war on John Todd. Let's begin. According to Todd, he never had a chance at a normal life. From the age of 5, he knew nothing but rituals, ceremonies, and a worldview where Christians were the most evil being on earth. He claimed his own family, the Collinses, were one of the original occult houses who carried old world witchcraft into America. We're not talking like broomsticks and crystals. This was political witchcraft, the kind with hierarchy, rules, and bloodlines. By 14, he says he was already an ordained minister. At 18, he says they brought him to Colorado for his first blood sacrifice, the price of reaching the 6th realm. He describes a world where occult ranks function like corporate promotions, except the glass ceiling is replaced with a 5-pointed star. After the initiation, the occult gave him a territory of 13 states, one of the territories being where his foster mother belonged. Which, his foster mother, by the way, is Louise Huebner. She is the official witch of Los Angeles County, a title she literally held because Ernest Debs, the LA County supervisor at the time, approved it and presented a scroll to her on July 21st, 1968 at the Hollywood Bowl. John says he oversaw 5,000 covens and upwards of 55,000 ministry members. Some of them, allegedly, being from the LA County Sheriff's Department, an occult government living beneath the real one. Todd states that his orders did not come from politicians, they came from London, from the Rothschilds family, to be exact. He called them the Holy Family of the Occult World. Occult members would go to England to kiss the stone of their house. People would say encountering a Rothschild family member and receiving a blessed sign or a blessed bee from them would change their lives for the better from that moment on. John describes entering a dining room with exactly 13 chairs, the final one left open for Lucifer himself, set with a plate and all. To him, Washington, D.C. was a stage. Politicians were puppets. The scripts are written in London and distributed through the Illuminati's American mask. Can you guess what it is? The Council on Foreign Relations. According to Todd, the last president that was actually elected by the people was Jimmy Carter. Carter and Ford were in the Illuminati because John claims not a single president can escape their influence. But during Carter and Ford's run, they made Ford throw the election because he still almost won. It shook the Illuminati so much, they decided that would be the last elected president. Everything ultimately unraveled when he saw a chart in 1972, a timeline of world control mapped out step by step. A plan that allegedly predicted 8 years to seize global power, minus China. They claimed China was too unruly and that they will just destroy it. Also, he claims that World War III will start due to an energy crisis. So, we will find out. But it was this chart that made him run. He realized he wasn't just escaping a religion, he was escaping the shadow government he helped build. Once he escaped the occult, he was now a witness to industrialized spiritual abuse. John Todd was someone who truly believed the devil had a budget and a kill list that he desperately needed to expose. In the John Todd tapes, he personally says that he helped get 4 cult members arrested only to watch the LA County Sheriff's Department cover up the ritual evidence.
Now that's girls that have been used for human sacrifice. And if you all notice, there's quite a few rape cases that happened around Halloween that are in the news right now. And from what we can find out, the circumstances that each death fit human sacrifice. But you'll never hear it, that's the reason. We turned in 4 different people that were responsible in the area that I knew about to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and they arrested all 4. They got convictions, and in every conviction they listed it as rape, killing, and they knew better.
He says one year he counted 135 cases in the media he knew were ritual killings. Girls as young as 10, but mainly 12 and 13-year-olds were groomed. Hitchhikers were taken for ritual use. The police could dismiss them as runaways. Occult defectors were hunted, and the bounty would start at around $10,000. In another tape, he mentions his wife has a $50,000 bounty on her just for marrying him. He says the only reason that he got out of the occult was because he slipped accidentally into a Christian man named Claude Elmer. Mr. Elmer asked if he could read Todd a Bible verse or a prayer, and Todd obliged. For Todd, that was the moment the spell broke. The moment he released he wasn't a god. He was just a pawn. Todd laughs when he recalls running into Claude was by accident. He then understood it wasn't. John spent the rest of his life warning people about the occult and their agenda, being an elite cult priest, all while being a foster kid with 2 moms. To make matters worse, the newspapers in South Carolina printed a story calling him the Green Beret Rapist, taking his years of service and spinning it to be seen as a man who was discharged for instability. He was also known to disappear from Christianity for like a year or 2 and then resurface, telling people that he was in a low place and turning back to the occult was like the easiest thing for him. I found one letter written about him, and it said that he did run away from Christianity for a time and that he ran an occult store, but the occult found out he was running it, and so they banned all of the occult members from going there. Then one day the occult had sent 2 witches to trick him and try to get him, I don't know, in trouble, snubbed, I don't know. He also doesn't deny that claim either. When he accused the LA County Sheriff's Department, secretly ran an occult task force and covered ritual murders as rape cases, they publicly denied this, saying they have no internal documents, never had a press leak about this, and never had archival evidence surface. This was another nail in the coffin for the public. They trusted the police back then. Why would their neighbor do such an evil thing? John put out warnings against the music industry after stating he worked for Zodiac Productions. The Rolling Stones were massive at the time, and he threw Mick Jagger under the bus for selling his soul in prison and letting the devil speak through him. In one song that Jagger wrote, he says, "It's not that I fool you who I am, it's the nature of my game that's confusing you." The media scoffed and said that Jagger was already famous before he went to jail. The internet now says that Zodiac Productions was not an occult mega production. It was a small Texas music promoter that didn't even exist when Todd said he ran it. The time he references running Zodiac Productions, though, he states that he knew Blood Rock, the band, when they wrote the song DOA. He says it was an acid-induced night And the singer of Blood Rock told John he got the words from a girl he knew that died in a car accident. If you look up Blood Rock and their song DOA, it actually does line up with his dates when he references being there. But the problem is, Capitol Records were the ones to sign Blood Rock and release the song DOA. So, yes, I tried to see if Zodiac Productions was bought out by Capitol Records or if Capitol Records changed their name or something, but no. He went after the Star of David, calling it a demon star or a death star.
There is an interesting thing, though, I'd like to throw in. A lot of witches do wear the thing called the Star of David. David was long dead before that star was ever drawn. His son drew it. And it's called the hexagram, and the word to curse with the hex comes from the hexagram. And when witches practice magic, they draw a five-pointed star to stand in, and they call demons up in the evil sign, what we call the Star of David. So before Christians start tying it around their neck, that's called the demon star, or the death star.
Jews were saying that this is not occult knowledge, it's Christian fundamentalist propaganda. They claimed he was just recycling fear-mongering. But the Star of David is not the only symbol he went after. He states that the Catholic Church's altar almost mimics an occult altar to a T, minus a few things here and there. He said they're almost exactly the same. So he went after other religions, which I'm sure people did not take well back in the day. Then legal troubles came for him that are still not forgotten to this day. By the 80s and 90s, Todd had multiple arrests, accusations of sexual misconduct, fraud, firearm violations, and a prison sentence. He was accused of sexually assaulting 80 girls, and as the media coverage grew of him, so did the number of the girls. He was sent from prison to prison just to slow down the process of everything, and then his attorney pretty much just gave up on him and caused him to lose his trial. While recording his confession on tape in his prison cell, he says that he knew they were putting a cellmate in with him who was hired to kill him. In the postscript of his confession, it states, September, 2 inmates who were paid to stab Johnny Todd stabbed him in the back, and then when he was on the ground, they stabbed him 3 more times. Johnny Todd lost a lot of blood, but he is back on his feet and has returned to the general prison population. He is still hopeful to gain his freedom next year because an appeal was won, and now he is to receive his fair day in court. The inconvenient truth, some of the things he warned people about did happen. Even though the majority of his claims were probably impossible to fathom at the time, some elements aged really well. Government surveillance, financial manipulation, political puppetry, entertainment industry exploitation, secret networks with power, abuse hidden behind institutions, children going missing with no proper investigation, the rise of occult aesthetics in pop culture, mega church emotional manipulation, and the blending of religion and politics. Was he a canary in a coal mine? It is the truth that institutions do cover for each other. People in power do hurt the powerless. Some churches do create cult-like conditions, and sometimes the government does manipulate fear into the public, and sometimes horrors hide in plain sight. So was he lying? Was he insane? John Todd's story leaves us with a choice. Not between believing him or dismissing him, but between believing that evil must announce itself with rituals and robes, or accepting that the darkest thing in our world wears suits, preach sermons, run boardrooms, and pass laws. Maybe John Todd was a prophet. Maybe he was a fraud. Maybe he was both, depending on the day. The truth is usually messy, it's uncomfortable, and it lives in a place most people are too afraid to look. Let me know in the comments below if you think John Todd was a con man or an occult survivor. Have you listened to his tapes? I highly recommend that you do. He goes into great detail about everything that he's witnessed and encountered. I tried to pull as much information from his tapes as I could, but we would have ended up being here for like 7 hours trying to go through them all. If you have any recommendations for future videos as well, let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be seeing you at the next meeting. Ooh, P.S. I seriously want to thank everyone who found me through the Sammy Davis Jr. video, and you've been hanging out ever since. I appreciate you so much. I try to read and respond to every single one of your comments. I appreciate every single one of you supporting me and encouraging me to keep going. That is like so kind. You guys have no idea how cool I thought that was. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough, honestly. Thank you, thank you, thank you.